Jamaica is at a changing and a pivotal point in its economic growth.
We try to identify businesses that has a good value proposition as well as can create a competitive advantage in the marketplace.
By including 2 startups this season, we want to showcase to the public the dynamic of being at that stage, or if they're in that phase, how they can take their businesses to the next level.
People, resources, infrastructure, it costs. What we look to do as investors is to enable that growth by financing that next phase.
This is a high-stakes competition for an equity investment of up to $50 million.
And then there were 3, the final 3. Hello, entrepreneurs. Congratulations on reaching the final pitch. You have endured, persevered, and been through many levels of business training. You have tested your sales, creative, and strategic skills. Today, you will test another important skill: how to convince an investor to invest in your company. One of you will walk away with an investment of up to $50 million and be declared the winner of Season 2 of NCB Capital Quest.
The judges are Stephen Gooden, CEO of NCB Capital Markets, Carrie Robinson, Managing Partner at Norbrook Caribbean Investments Company, and our guest judge, Dennis Cohen, Deputy Group Managing Director at NCB.
Today, you will have up to 15 minutes to pitch your companies to the judges. At the end of the pitch, you will have a 5-minute question and answer session with the judges. The moment of truth has arrived. Who will it be? Icon Importers and Distributors, you will be the first to pitch.
We want to win this because we really need a growth in the business. We have vision for it. We really would love to see it get to another level. And we believe winning this competition can certainly put us in that position where we can grow and we can get better and we can see the vision come to a reality.
What's the size of the signal? 5 gallons?
Don't worry about that. We have 9 gallons in terms of the containers that they're going to give us. So that's the maximum we can do.
Pour all of it.
Pour all of it.
I've been in the kitchen many times before, but I've never been in a kitchen doing anything like this.
You two are the guys, the tech-savvy people. So I really am happy to be the person to really examine the process and to, and we measure between, because both areas are so powerful in these fields.
Is one more we have out here? National Gallery now. 45 minutes gone now.
With me home, me no longer alone, so I want my washing machine for my home. So, I don't know, just things that come to mind trying to work.
Icon Importers and Distributors, you may start your pitch.
Icon was started in 1999 and is part of a family business that now values approximately $1 billion. So who is Icon? We distribute disposable items, including garbage bags, to the hospitality and supermarket industry. Over there, you can see a few samples of our garbage bags, and those are the ones on the rolls that the hotels and a lot of other clients uses. We also specialize in solar and LED products, and there are a few other items there. We presently service 13 parishes, and by the end of this year, we would have covered the entire island. There are several strategies that we have as to how we can grow, but we have selected one particular area that we think is an extremely important one, and that is garbage bags. One of the reasons for this is that garbage bags represent like 30% of our revenue. When we manufacture here, presently we only import and distribute. We'll be able to have wholesale, retail prices, and reseller prices. Presently, the industry standard allows like a 35% markup. When we begin manufacturing, we will be able to make a minimum of 50% markup on our products. Right now, in the market of garbage bags, over 100 million units sold annually, not by us, but generally what the market can absorb. What other reason do we have for manufacturing garbage bags? Imports are currently coming out of China. The market now sees an average of 4 containers per month, that's 40-foot containers per month of this particular style of garbage bags imported in the country. Icon holds approximately 25% of that market share right now. There's no manufacturer right now for this particular type of garbage bags in Jamaica. Based on our calculation, we'll be able to manufacture approximately 60% of the cost of importation, and that is significant. Producing locally, we are going to eliminate waste because a second phase of the project will be to be using recycled material. The garbage bag market now, 50% of it is hospitality. Supermarkets, wholesale use a smaller portion, schools, hospitals and other. And hospitals also in itself is a whole market because medical grade garbage bags is different from these, and these machines will be able to make them. So there's a lot of possibilities and scope with that. Now, gentlemen, we are going to manufacture garbage bags in Jamaica. There's no doubt about that in my mind. We are going to do this, right? And as you can see up there, the process we have already started. We just acquired, if you can turn your eyes to the screen, please, that's the property we just acquired. It's a 3.8 acres property, over 20,000 square footage of space that will house our corporate office, our distribution center, and also our factory. It has a lot of potential. There's so much growth that we can have here at this location. And it's right on the main where access is easy from any direction you might be coming from. Now, we are no jokers that we are going to say invest without demonstrating our seriousness and commitment. So we'll be putting up $10 million from Icon funds as part of this process. We are asking you to invest $50 million in this venture. And this is how the money is going to be spent. 50% of it towards solarizing the property, which is a one-time cost, by the way. 5% will be for purchasing a standby generator. 20% will be to purchase 3 months of raw material for the manufacturing process, and 25% will be for the plant itself. And at this point, I want to say to you also that we have started to put a corporate governance structure in place. We have removed 2 of our directors already. So we are thinking a maximum of 7 directors. So there's space for 2 more directors outside of the 5 that we have on board right now. In exchange for this investment, gentlemen, we're offering you 15% shares in Icon. So we are really inviting you to be part of the Icon family. So gentlemen, I believe you may have some questions, and I will do my best to answer them.
Interesting presentation, Moses. So intuition, well, the growth story was built, or has been built around the garbage bags, right? The manufacturing of garbage bags. And intuition would suggest that it's cheaper to import a product like garbage bags from China to Jamaica than to manufacture. Can you just tell us a bit about, what your competitive advantage is going to be relative to importing the product from China?
First of all, the whole idea that the labor in China is cheap is not so cheap anymore. Access to raw material in China is easier than it is to Jamaica. So there'll be a situation where you ship the raw material over here. But in terms of energy, very few factories in China use renewable energy right now. And that is the one single item that makes manufacturing in Jamaica so difficult. And when we put that solar plant in place, that in itself is going to be a winner.
What manufacturing experience do you have, right? And I'd like to get some assurance that the machines that you're importing will be producing at the required quality, and that you have the in-house expertise for maintenance and to ensure that you can sustain the kind of production required.
I've been to China, right? So I've seen them at work. That is one. 2, engineers from China will come here to install the machines and also do some training.
So you said the market is 40 containers a month?
About 4 of this particular style.
Okay, and you are 25% of that?
Approximately, yes.
So you do about 1 container a month?
On an average, yes.
All right, and that carries you to $100 million of garbage bags?
Approximately.
And you're saying that 5 years from now, you're going to get to 900 million.
Yes, because when we do the math on this, right, on the manufacturing here, the 50% that I mentioned there, that is the lowest markup we're going to have, and that is assuming that we are going to sell to the resellers who are presently importing. Now, if they're not going to be prepared to buy from us, then we go directly to the market, and between now and the next 5 years, we will have the biggest market share, if not all the market.
What's to prevent another person from bringing in the same equipment?
It requires quite a bit of money, as you can see. It requires the relationships with the people in China to ensure you have consistency in the quality of the raw material that you're going to get here. Renewable energy side of it is another factor. It's a lot of money to put that solar plant in place. So there's nothing really to stop anybody. But one thing we have going for us, we have been in business for 24 years. We have very strong relationship with people. There's one particular hotel chain right now. Persons flood them every day. We have been supplying them for like 10 years with garbage bags. Persons flood them every day wanting to sell them. And sometimes the prices are ridiculously low. They say to these people, to those people, we have a reliable supplier that we have been buying for a long time. We're not interested.
A lot of what you're asking is for us to believe that this great distributor cannot become a great manufacturer just because you have the right machine and the Chinese come down here and train you for 2 weeks. I think we all have relationships or know manufacturers, and it's a tough business, it's a whole another skill set.
I don't lay any claim to be a person that knows everything. So where my skill set is weak, I'm going to find the right person with the appropriate skill set to hire that person to put in the system.
All right, thank you, Moses. We appreciate the presentation.
Thank you, gentlemen, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Having done the pitch and based on some of the things the judges asked for, there are some things I would have done a little different. I would have included, for example, more information as to the other areas of the company outside of what I'm seeking investment for, so they could have a clearer view as to the company and all that it does and how we intend to grow the other segments of the market that we service. In addition to that, we'd probably want to include more information on the machines, for example, that we are pitching that we want to buy to do the manufacturing. And there would have been a few other things, but those are the main two areas that we would have ensured that we covered in more details.
The same question about can you become a manufacturer, can you be a good manufacturer, is a lingering issue here. Do we believe that he can become that excellent manufacturer?
Yeah, I mean, that's a concern. So the question for me is how complicated of a process it is to manufacture bags. How much room they have to get it wrong, so to speak. So, I mean, that would help with the understanding. I like the fact that he has 20% market share, and I think if he gets 25% market share, and I believe if he gets the manufacturing process right and he's able to bring down the cost, it puts him in a position to bring up his margins, or market share, significantly. A question on the 50% market share, that's aggressive, right? But I don't know. I'm not sure how. I don't think the manufacturing process itself is that complicated for him to really get it wrong.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's just one of those things where you get the feeling that tomorrow someone else can come and wipe it out.
And he has real competitors there.
Yeah, exactly. The fact is that the assumption is that everybody's going to sit back and allow him to take market share. And somehow markets don't operate like that. People see you taking market share, people hear that you're doing. Is there something special about you why they can't replicate what you're doing? And that's a sense I didn't get. I probably would have liked if you had said, for example, that I'm looking to go in the wider Caribbean.
Right.
Go to explore markets in Grenada.
Right.
Grenada can't compete because they won't be able to have the kind of scale that we have.
They can't pull a container from China.
They can't pull a container. Exactly. You understand? I never get a sense of that.
Yeah.
You understand? And maybe
that's a good point.
Maybe that's a criticism, but it may also be an opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the garbage bag business, but I think the fact that he already has a 20% market share is a good starting point.
Yeah. All right, let's do the next pitch.
Okay.
Follow the conversation on social media using hashtag NCB Capital Quest to win prizes.
So there are a couple of things that are important in pitching a business. One is to tell the investor about the business. So general information that will help us to understand what the business is, what the business does, and what's the strategy around the business. The second is financials, and that has two parts. What's the financials of the business today, and where the business stands on a financial basis, and then where do you project the business to grow into or to grow to on a financial basis. Third is the market. It's important not just to understand a business, but how that business fits in the dynamic of the market that it plans to play in. I think the last piece is the team, and a little more about the team and why this team is the best team to grow that business and to help that business plan come to fruition.
You can't reach anywhere without good platforms, and I think NCB Capital Quest is probably the best platform to put an idea on, to have people dissect it, to have people give you mentorship to say this is where you should be going. I'm hoping for a good challenge, and I'm hoping for to get access to resources that I've never had before.
That's their music?
Yeah.
They got music? They got a music guy?
No, we got music. It's one location. You think person's coming to know that them alone have the music? No. Driver, walk on, I can't sell that juice. $50 for your juice, I can't sell that juice. Remember, we're looking for a wow factor, and whatever we can put in is viable at this point. Why subtract something that doesn't cost us additionally to
better.
Let's go simple.
Yeah. Okay,
so you
cash
can't
price
put
plan. Cash price plan, or it won't fit the.
No, then we have to reconfigure the line around it then, because that is the sell.
Mobile Money Solutions, you may go ahead and start your pitch.
So last night I said to my girlfriend, I'm going to pitch to some investors tomorrow. Any advice? And she said, don't try to be witty or intellectual, just be yourself. So let's see how that works out. All right. We started this company for the same reason I started the first company, which is I realized that as a people in the Jamaica and the Caribbean broadly, we have not leveraged technology for what it is today and where it is. So what we're saying is that bill payment is a tedious process. Managing your money is also, it's time consuming. Not many persons understand how to manage money. But let's look deeper into the bill payments. In Jamaica, it's estimated that 48 million bills are being paid yearly. This boils down to 1 million bill payers paying 4 bills per month, an average of 4 bills per month. How are these persons paying these bills? Well, more than 60% of the persons who are paying bills actually still walk into a physical location, join a long line to pay a bill. We're saying, why should we be doing this? We've all done the lunch hour bill payment where, you have one bill to pay, you forgot the due date, so it's now late, so you rush out during lunch hour and you join a line. You're in that line for 20 minutes. When you go up to the window, you spend 2 minutes paying that bill. So you've just realized that you've wasted 20 minutes for a 2-minute job. We're saying this is 2016. There's no way you should be wasting this amount of time for this simple task. So we're going to disrupt the market. We're going to show persons that technology is there and we can leverage it to do simple stuff. Our proprietary tech is EasyBill. EasyBill is a web and mobile platform that allows bill payments or the movement of money quickly and safely. So let's look at EasyBill. What we've realized is that simplicity works. So we've created a platform where you see everything that you need to see on one screen. We're saying that you're going to pay a bill in 3 clicks or less. With EasyBill, you're able to see all the bills that you have to pay, all the bills that are due, the due dates, and a timer that counts down when each bill is due. If you're to pay all these bills, it takes 3 clicks. You sign in, 1 click. You click on the bill you want to pay, 2 clicks. You see the amount and you press pay. That's all you need to do to pay a bill with EasyBill. We've also have a cool tool that we've included just to give a little more value to the money that you'll be spending with us. It's called Finance Genie. Say you're like me, you're horrible at managing money, which is my biggest problem. We're saying that we're going to give you a tool that at the start of each month, you plug in how much you make and how much you plan to spend. And at the end of each day, this tool will come up and say, hi, Carrie, how much did you spend today? And it will show you that, well, you said $100 to be spent, but you spent $105. And it will give you a tip and saying, maybe tomorrow you should try this, spend this. All right, let's look at the mobile payment market. This market is a growing market, however, it's underpenetrated in our part of the region, which is Latin America and the Caribbean. We're saying that there are
in 2014, there were 1.2 billion mobile devices accessing the internet. By 2018 is scheduled to hit $5 billion. 5 billion mobile devices. That means that devices are coming and persons are using them. So we need not worry about persons having the right tools. Let's look at the opportunity in Jamaica. There are roughly 2 million mobile data subscribers. That means that persons who have a mobile phone and happen to be on the internet at some time during the day, there are actually 1.6 million fixed internet users. That means 1.6 million persons has access to the internet at some point in their lives. So we have a fairly good amount of persons to work with. However, the addressable market that we're targeting is 1 million monthly bill payers. We're trying to get 10% of that 1 million, which is not hard to do once you have the right marketing approach. Our business model is very simple. We'll charge individual users $1 per month to pay any amount of bills that they want to pay, plus access to all our value-added tools. And we're saying that companies pay bills too, and companies have 100 bills, 100 pages of bills. We're building a corporate billing solution. We're looking at 100,000 users in 4 years, and once we hit that target, our revenue will be $100 million. We're saying that we're hitting 30,000 users by year 2, 60,000 by year 3, and 100,000 in year 4. Market adoption. So our first target is a financial house. We're saying that you know how to manage money. You have the expertise. Why not join us? And in joining us, we both get customers. Our team, myself, Dave Oakley, I have 7 years in the field of IT. Coincidentally, I also work for a bill payment industry as my first job, so I understand the struggles. Gar Thompson is our CFO, he's also my co-founder. We're seeking $15 million for 30% of our companies. This is mainly towards product development. We're saying we're going to build a prototype and we need experience in terms of persons who know what they're doing. This costs money. And we're saying new hires. We need a marketing persons, we need research consultants, and we need persons to bridge the gap between us and the service providers on a level that we are currently not able to reach them. Our key milestones is for phase 1, which will cover the first 2.5 years, is building the proper products, marketing that product, and creating key partnerships to make sure that app continues to work successfully going forward. Phase 2, we'll be seeking to add other service providers, plus continue innovating. So in the final year 4, we'll be doing an overall assessment in terms of money. We'll be saying where we are in terms of what we have and where do we want to be. Thank you. My name is Dave Oakley again, and that was Mobile Money Solutions and our product, EasyBill.
All right, so Dave, I'm struggling to appreciate your competitive advantage, right? How do you plan to compete with some of the larger players in the market, players with big brands?
With our program, we're saying that in order for users to stick with us, what we've noticed with all of our competitors is that they're set on physical locations. Persons have to leave their homes for majority of the bill payment agencies to pay a bill. So innovation is the only way to beat competition, I feel.
Explain to me exactly how I get my money, my cash, onto your platform, and also would you require approvals from the regulators, say the central bank?
Our way is, we're a startup, so we need to piggyback. We're saying if we partner with a financial house, they have we have targeted one already who has several outlets in supermarkets. And we're saying that if you don't have access to our credit card and you have cash, once you go there, you can actually cash up your mobile account. In terms of the regulation, they would have already been allowed by the government to do certain things in terms of moving money around. And what we've also realized is that there are a lot of laws that need to be passed in terms of mobile money, so we can't offer the full suite of mobile payments just as yet. But we're building technology because everybody else is building and waiting for the law to be passed.
So tell us a bit more about the capital needs, right? So I'm looking at your projections and you're saying in year 4, you expect to make $165 million. That's a lot of money, right? You're asking us for $15 million. You're a startup. To hit that aspiration, how much capital would you require to hit that 165 in 4 years? Because I'm assuming that the $15 million would not be enough. And my second question is, how much skin do you have in this business?
How much?
How much skin do you have in the game? How much money have you put up in this business or plan to put up?
All right, in terms of capital, what we are planning to do is that the $50 million will get us through the startup phase into year 1 and probably half of year 2. At that point, we'll actually assess with our investors to say, hey, this is what's happened so far. And we believe that we hit our targets, so that will be healthy in terms of our business look. But once we haven't hit our targets, then we have to come back to the drawing board. We have to be able to pivot as a startup. If something doesn't work, we need to throw it out and put in something that will work. In terms of how much we have pumped into the business so far, we've bootstrapped Garth and myself, and we started actually pushing this December, January, and we've spent over 100,000 already out of our own money. It sounds small, but we have to be working in order. So we have 9-to-5s, and each time we get paid, then we add something else to the platform. So it's kind of rough, but we've hired a developer to do the prototype, and that alone was $50,000. I mean, it's expensive, but we realize that if you do it part by part, you will get what you want.
Dave, I think I happen to know a little bit, or I should say a lot, about this industry. And one of the things I'm concerned about is the amount of research you've done to understand, one, the competitive landscape, and two, the regulatory landscape around this. And so one of the concerns I would have is that your partners that you're looking at are actually your biggest competitors, and your competitors that you've analyzed are much more advanced in this space than you are. How much research have you done to understand what is out there today?
Companies have lobbied the government in order to get them to pass the regulations so that persons can move money through mobile platforms. That has not yet passed, which is why I'm actually using the mobile money part as a secondary value-added service. So if I build this tool right now, there are certain things that I can do, but when the law passes, then I can go full throttle in terms of having persons move money from phone to phone. In terms of regulation, we're not there in terms of a country, but everybody's lining up for when we actually reach that line.
There's one thing to build the technology and one thing to build the application because you feel like the market wants it, and I think you've done a good job there. I think you need to dig a little bit deeper to understand the industry and the competitive landscape, and most importantly, the regulatory landscape, because I think that's going to be a major hurdle for you to get past. Thanks again for the pitch.
Thank you for your time.
And you may leave the boardroom.
In terms of our presentation, I think I had a good presentation. My only fault I would think is actually a certain question in the question and answer session that I should have known the answer to and I didn't. So
I have concerns about, for example, regulatory approvals. Because whenever you have a business where you are actually holding people's money, which is what is happening here, invariably regulators, central bank, effectively almost if you're taking deposits, and invariably it requires regulatory approvals. I didn't get a sense that the research spoke to that. It never spoke to issues related to know your customer. In this day and age where you talk about money laundering, you get the sense that, I mean, not that they're necessarily going to be huge hurdles since they're small payments, but the fact is that those are issues which have not yet been addressed. And I think they need to be addressed before we can actually move forward. Some fundamental things I think are still outstanding.
Agreed. I mean, he's still early in the game. And to your point, I think what he really needs now is a strategic partner to help him navigate through a lot of these issues, and less to a financial partner.
So there's two things that I thought was unique. One, I'm yet to see somebody in the market push the bill and the bill information to you. So he is right that today, even the applications that are out there, they allow you to pay through online or a mobile app, but you have to enter the information. If there's something that captures your information and pushes it to you and says, hey, here's what your JPS bill is, pay on time and so on, I think there's value in that idea. I think even more so, there's value in this micro financial advisory type platform. And so, you know, I think what his position should be is not so much to say, hey, I have these two better ways to do what I know is out there, and let me use that to compete with the big boys.
Okay.
More so, let me take these to the big boys
that's
and say, hey, let me augment your platform and make your platform better. And whether I get a piece or I get a transaction fee or even advertising income or whatever.
I think in the grand scheme of things, 15 million may not be a large amount, especially if we are willing to come to the table and provide him with that help to identify a strategic partner.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and we could very well be that strategic partner as well.
Right.
You know, so that is something to contemplate.
Yeah,
Right.
and as I said earlier, the whole idea of an investment contingent upon is also is also an option we can explore.
Yeah, that's another way to look at it.
Follow the conversation on social media using hashtag NCB Capital Quest to win prizes.
For me, there's always going to be fear, you know. You want to know who your investor is going to be, make sure you have a good working relationship with that investor. How much say are they going to have? Are they going to be the final say? You know, you have to now talk about, you know, governance and stuff like that. So there's always a fear going into the unknown. But I think more importantly is the reward with what they bring. Not just the monetary reward, but you know, who they know and what they know, learning from this person or these people. I think that for me that's more important than, so it's a calculated risk.
I'm telling you right now, Brian and I cannot be the ones to go to the supermarket together because we don't play well together in the supermarket.
I think it was last week or the week before. We decided we're going to go grocery shopping together. Fine. We had a list. Great. 15 minutes into the shopping experience, he's in the line cashing out, and I'm still looking for groceries.
There can only be one bottle of lime juice, Brian. Hold on.
By the way, I have a tendency I can like kind of take over without even realizing I'm doing it. So, you know, just don't let me, because my voice can be very strong, so just don't, if you have something to say, just say it. I don't mean anything by it, okay? All right, cool.
Disclaimer.
Yes, we're not the techiest people in the world, but that doesn't mean we can't kill this challenge.
First place we want to go is Devon House, right? So Heroes Circle now. They all walk out to the tunnel and the crowd goes.
Last challenge, we wrote a book. We had a book that we wrote that we thought was good. And then we were told to cut it down. And when we cut it down, we were told that the book was too juvenile. And that's why we lost, right?
So you're using that with the details.
One of the things that the marketing person from Singer said was, we have flexible plans. These are the 2 plans. We think they're great plans. They're the best payment plans out there.
Bliss Bridal Boutique.
Yes.
Let's see your pitch.
Okay. Good evening, gentlemen. My name is Sarah Stanford, and in partnership with my husband, Brian Stanford, we own Bliss Bridal Boutique. You know, in 2011, Brian decided to make me the happiest woman in the world when he asked me to be his wife. And the one aspect of the wedding planning process that I was looking most forward to was shopping for my wedding dress. I think I went to almost every store locally. Unfortunately, I left most of the experiences feeling dejected and disappointed. My mother sat us down one day and said, Sarah, you have had a pretty unhealthy obsession with wedding dresses for as long as I can remember. Why don't you guys open a bridal store? And in April of 2012, Bliss Bridal Boutique opened its doors. At Bliss, we rent and sell designer wedding gowns at affordable prices. We are the only authorized retailers in Jamaica of all the designers we carry. The international destination wedding market is a US $16 billion market. And with that in mind, we partnered with hotels such as Couples, Iberostar, and Secrets to provide their brides with access to our dress rental services. And who can tell it better than one of our destination brides, Mimi?
I want to just say thank you for the service that was provided by Bliss Bridal Boutique. It was efficient, it was professional. My dress is gorgeous. I had to get alterations done in less than an hour, delivered on my doorstep. I'm beyond excited and impressed with the services and can't wait to walk down the aisle and meet my husband.
Our management team includes myself, Sarah Stanford, as Managing Director. In partnership with my brother, Christopher Barrett, we successfully launched, grew, and sold our previous company, Global Courier Services. Our Director of Sales and Marketing is Brian Stanford. He comes to the table with over 18 years of sales and marketing experience. He has used that sales and marketing experience to grow the Bliss Bridal Facebook page to over 150,000 Facebook followers. We can actually tie back about 75% of our revenue stream back to our social media marketing. Also important to note is some of our key partners. We have been the exclusive wedding dress provider sponsor for the Jamaica Bridal Expo 4 years in a row, and we will be doing that again this year in September in Montego Bay. Our competitive advantage, our web and social media presence. Currently, we are ranked in the top 10 of Facebook pages in Jamaica, competing with companies like Digicel, Flow, KFC, and NCB. We have a decent sized inventory in store, but because we are the only authorized retailers of all the designers we carry, we have access to hundreds and hundreds of gowns. If you take a look at that graphic over there, Jamaica is the #1 location for destination brides in the Caribbean. 1 out of 3 weddings that happen in the Caribbean happen in Jamaica. Closely behind is the Virgin Islands, and then the Bahamas, St. Lucia, and the rest of the Caribbean. So if we can corner even just Jamaica and the US Virgin Islands, we're looking at about 60% of the market. We are seeking an investment of $30 million, Jay, for a 20% equity share in our company. Brian and I have already invested over $200,000 US in the 4 years to develop the business and to procure one of the largest inventories in Jamaica. Our growth strategy indicates that in 5 years, our revenues will surpass $350 million, at which point in time selling the company or launching an IPO are all possible considerations. I'd like to thank all of you for listening to my presentation today. I look forward to partnering with NCB and in taking Bliss Bridal Boutique to the next level. Thank you.
$30 million for a 20% stake suggests a valuation of $150 million. And I'm still not yet convinced that the business values $150 million. You gave revenue projections, and that's an important metric, but I'm not seeing the net profit forecast, right? And that's going to be very important for us to determine A, the valuation, and B, what size investment we're willing to take and for what stake. So could you speak a bit about the profitability of the company to date and what your expectations are going out?
Okay, since we opened our doors in 2012, we were a profitable year 1.
Right.
Our profit margin is has been and continues to, well, started off a little bit lower, but has continued to grow, and we're at about 24% currently,
Right.
which is a little bit of above average when you're looking at retail. That margin will steadily increase as time goes on.
Increase to?
About 35 to 45%.
Assuming a 40% margin, you're talking around $140, $150 million in net profit in 4 years' time. Seems a bit aggressive.
It could be. But you know, we really do believe that based on the size of the destination market,
Right.
based on the fact that there is nobody currently in the space doing what we're doing, maybe, you know, you might want to look at it and consider it a little bit aggressive. I mean, we could take a second look at the numbers. We are not averse to doing that. Everything that we've done at Bliss Bridal Boutique since inception has not been safe, so to speak. We don't take the safe way out of anything. If we took the safe way out of anything, I wouldn't be here today.
Have you established all the key relationships with the hotels that you need?
All of them, no. We have established a relationship with 3 major hotels here in Jamaica. We have been courting one particular hotel chain for the almost 4 years that we've been in business, but that's a relationship that needs more, you know, fostering. And also we recognize that in business, relationships are very important, and with the right partners, with the right strategic partners, you know, maybe with an investment from you guys and your partnership and your guidance, you can help us to gain some of the relationships that we have been seeking that we haven't been able to do on our own.
How much of the business is tourism today, or are they destination weddings?
Right now, in terms of our business, it's a very small percentage.
Okay.
The majority of our business, about 90% of our business is local, only about 10% is destination right now. And again, we get the inquiries, but we're not getting as much inquiries as we need because the marketing to the brides in the US and Europe is not where it needs to be.
The reason why I ask is that I think a lot of the business model is based on an assumption. And the assumption is that people that come for destination weddings will have an appetite to rent a dress versus either bring their dress down or rent from abroad or whatever. And that's the part that I feel like you know, you've lived it. So what anecdotes can you give us that says that there is an appetite for this and it can be scaled versus you just happen to get a couple one-off?
The industry is changing. The airline industry is changing, for example. No longer can a bride bring her wedding dress on a plane and the flight attendant just puts it in the closet in the first class. Now the airlines are requiring that you either check your very fabulous once-in-a-lifetime wedding dress in the luggage bay, or they charge you anywhere from $50 to $100 to actually take your dress on the flight, right? So that's an additional expense. The hotels, when a bride brings her dress down, more than likely the dress is going to need to be pressed and steamed. The hotels charge anywhere between $75 and $150 to steam a gown. One of the things you might say is, boy, you know, do I want to rent a dress that I've never tried on? Well, a bride can go to her store in Wisconsin. She can try on 5 Maggie Satera dresses in a size 10. Find the one that she absolutely loves and call me and say, hey, Bliss, I found this Maggie Satera dress. I want to rent it. Do you have it? Sure, I either have it. If I don't have it, I'll order it.
Okay, I think we've captured enough information.
Right. I think so.
I think we have to do some math. But appreciate you presenting.
My pleasure.
You may leave the boardroom.
Thank you.
Good job.
Sarah.
Sure.
Stephen says, it's pretty aggressive. I said, you know it is. I said, but you know, Brad and I don't do anything safe. I said, if we were safe, we wouldn't be here. If
For me, and I forgot this, but the biggest thing is the market size. So I was doing some math on this, and I don't know if these numbers are correct, right? Because I think she was guessing a bit about, you know, where the others are. But if she's correct, and the market is 100 dresses per month, that's a $40,000 a month business. That's 480, call it $500,000 a year. That's a $60 million market. At $60 million and a 25% net profit, it's a $15 million, the entire industry would be a $15 million profit business. Now, I find that hard to believe, but even if it's double or whatever.
Or even triple.
Right. Can you justify what was the valuation? $150 valuation in an industry where, for a company in an industry that would make $40–50 million. So it really is almost like a VC play, because the bet here is on the destination piece.
Exactly. And there's a lot of doubt about that. I mean, clearly that market is huge, but somehow I don't think we've cracked that code. Right, and until we crack that code, I'm not inclined to bet on it happening.
So I initially thought that the wedding destination business accounted for a higher percentage of revenue. So I came in here thinking that the code was already cracked. I was a bit surprised when we were told that the destination wedding business is only 10%.
Right.
Right. No, the potential is there, but to your point, Dennis, we can't pay too much of a premium for that potential. So I think what it's going to boil down to is really the valuation. I think $150 million is just way too much, right? And we probably need to look at, if it is that we're going to invest in Bliss Bridal, that we scale back that amount significantly for a much higher percentage.
Or tear it, right? Tranche it, so where a piece comes in today for them to prove out the model, and then if the model is proven out, we can continue to invest.
All told, I thought she did a pretty decent job. Very, very good job. And she knows her business. I like her passion as well.
They're very passionate about the business.
Follow the conversation on social media using hashtag NCB Capital Quest to win prizes.
So I guess we've seen everybody, and it's pretty interesting. It's definitely not a clear-cut decision.
I agree with you. I mean, the three businesses are at 3 different stages of their respective life cycles.
I think that when I think about Icon, it's an established business, and they have an established pipeline of customers. And what I like about that, as I said before, is that you can push additional products there, maybe get greater margins on the garbage bags, but there's something real and substantive there. But what do you guys think?
I was a little concerned because I'm not sure the numbers have come back together. The 932 refer to $1 billion company, but you're not selling $1 billion company.
I like the fact that the Bliss Bridal guys, they're very, very passionate about the business. The discomfort I have is that the destination wedding business is only just 10%.
The model to me makes sense, right? If you have to pay, $200 to put it on the plane, another $100 to steam it, another $500 or $600 to buy it, whatever, or you could just try it on up there and rent the same dress down here. We do know that the destination wedding business is a massive business in the region, and she's already, said she wants to target 3 other countries. So I could see where that business could become a big thing.
The MMS, a startup company, I think he has done fairly well to get this far, given that it's a startup. I like the creativity. I believe he's going to have some challenge competing with the major players in the market. And probably there's an opportunity for us to partner with him, to have him, cement himself in the market and gain market share. So.
But I think we have enough to chew on.
Follow the conversation on social media using hashtag NCB Capital Quest to win prizes.
Welcome back, entrepreneurs. Mobile Money Solutions. The judges have decided that your pitch was the weakest, and so you have been eliminated.
Thank you.
You may leave the boardroom.
Thanks. Good luck, guys. With Mobile Money Solutions, it seems that we need to do a bit more research background. So once I get all that data together and see where we are at, and they say the timing is everything, so probably the timing isn't right for us to get an investment. So we normally I don't question life, and it's happening, so go to the drawing board, fix up what I need to fix up, and start pushing again.
Bliss Bridal and Icon Imports. One of you will receive an investment in your company.
Bliss Bridal Boutique Limited, the fact that you are here today, having survived all the challenges, we believe speaks to your business acumen, leadership, and passion for what you do. Unfortunately, your pitch today was not good enough to receive the investment. As such, Icon Importers and Distributors Limited, you have won Season 2 of NCB Capital Quest. Congratulations.
Very proud of the job she did. We laid it out on the table, and whatever happened. We're very happy for Moses. He has a booming business, and it was just his day. Not taking anything away from the effort that either of us made. And tomorrow's a new day. We'll pick up and we'll move on.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good, good.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Congrats, Moses. Well done.
Thank you. Hey, mommy.
Hey,
Guess what?
you are the winner
What makes you think so?
because you are a winner. Congratulations. I knew you were the winner from the start.
You knew from the start? Okay.
We started with 5 companies. They went through an intensive program of activities geared towards preparing each of them with the requisite business knowledge, making them ready for an investment of up to $50 million. Now we have a winner in Icon Importers and Distributors Limited. That completes Season 2. Join us for Season 3 of the business reality TV show NCB Capital Quest, coming soon to TVJ.